Hey there Facebook, it is Vanessa here again, your motivational speaker, trainer and head coach from Live, Love, Give. And I want to wish you all a very, very Merry Christmas to all of my Aussies out there it's Christmas morning. So definitely shooting out some love for you guys, and also Merry Christmas Eve to all of my other people around the world who aren't yet in the future like us. So wishing you all a very Merry Christmas, and it's why I wanted to bring today's special message to you, which I know I always call it a special message, but today's one is all about how we're going to be, really dealing with people in our lives and creating much, much better relationships and connections with them. And ultimately, it's about the power of radical positive honesty. And also, I want to introduce you guys, if you haven't heard this already, but ultimately it's the ideal praise to criticism ratio that revolutionizes your ability to actually help another person and get to another person, maybe shine some light on a blind spot that they have without them getting defensive, so they can actually hear you and you can actually make a difference in their lives. So definitely want to dive into that with you guys. And you guys who watch me on the daily, you know that yesterday I was listening to this podcast on the Waking Up podcast. I'm like addicted to it at the moment, so it's my new thing. So with Sam Harris, the Waking Up podcast, he was interviewing AJ Jacobs, an extraordinary guy who is just so amazingly interesting. But yeah, if you don't know who that is, go search for him or whatever. But what I wanted to introduce you to is that the next part of that interview, he actually spoke into another experiment that he did. He's a journalist who uses himself as a guinea pig, and he goes and tests out, different things in the world and in life. And one of the things that he did, and I'm not sure how long he did it, I'm going to guess it was a year, but yeah, don't hold me to that. But he actually went on this experiment of radical honesty. And that means that for this period of time, let's call it a year, because I can't remember, I actually don't know how long it was, but he tends to do things for a long period of time. He went on this journey. It's like that movie, Liar, Liar, he actually just spoke whatever came to his mind. He had to have radical honesty, no matter if it was going to be negative or whatever. And he went on this major journey. But what I really wanted to, or what kind of struck me in his interview, was he was talking into, the takeaways, the value that doing that experiment sort of added to his life. And one of the things that he mentioned and he brought up was this concept of radical positive honesty. And so that's really what struck me, and it's really what value he gained from that experiment. And it's what I wanted to talk into with you guys today, and also kind of set a bit of a challenge for you guys, a Christmas challenge, because I know this is a time of year where we're surrounded by our families. We're really, connecting with so many people, and we want to make it a great experience. So I wanted to talk into this idea and concept of radical positive honesty, which is ultimately any time that something positive comes into your mind, you speak it. Whether that's something positive about yourself, whether that's something that you notice that's something beautiful and positive in another human being, or in a situation that you're in, you speak it, and you have radical positive honesty. So instead of holding in, you meet somebody, like I'm just going to use this example, and you notice that there's some beautiful quality about this human being. Instead of just keeping that to yourself and it just being a thought, if it's something that can empower another person, if it brings light, then why not share it and have that radical positive honesty in terms of bringing that out. Don't just keep it to yourself, say it. And that's the thing that really resonated with his experience, was the power of actually speaking the truth when it's actually something really positive and empowering, and particularly for another person. And it's something that I do every single day. If I go shopping or something and I notice there's something beautiful about this human being, or I have a nice conversation with a shop assistant or something, I always give that. I don't hold on to that and then just like share it with somebody else. I share it with that person. I say, hey, it's great to have had this conversation, or hey, I love your hair, or just something nice, just something nice that is a thought that pops into your head, but you actually speak it and instead of like being shy or nervous or holding it back, why not? Like, why not have that radical positive honesty with people in our lives? And the other thing that I wasn't going to mention this, but I think it's valuable and it's just sort of popped into my mind. The other piece of value that he really took from this experiment of radical honesty, and he had a lot of sharing of negative honesty, was he actually found that when he came from this perspective of radical honesty, he brought up stuff that he'd been kind of resentful about and holding on to, and he actually found that he was completely wrong. So he used an example of meeting a friend of his, and his friend had just been married, and he was a bit pissed off because his friend hadn't actually invited him to his wedding. And he said this because he's in this experiment of radical positive honesty. Normally he wouldn't say anything, he'd just kind of hold on to this resentment, but he actually spoke it out and he said, I'm kind of annoyed at you because you didn't even invite me to your wedding. And his friend said, well, you didn't invite me to your wedding. And this kind of struck him because he had it in his mind that he did invite him to his own wedding, and in actual fact he hadn't. And now it kind of started to make sense, and now he could drop the resentment and he could actually get on with actually building a good quality of relationship with this person. So that's another way that radical honesty can really empower us. But yeah, definitely just wanted to drop that one in there as well for you. And the idea of having Christmas here, why not at least have radical positive honesty? And if you do want to go to the depths and really have radical honesty in your life, because I'm a big believer that if we're not honest with ourselves, we don't have depth of connection. And if we don't have depth of connection, in my books, like, it's a waste of our time and energy. So having that level of honesty, and I think that the best relationships that we have in our lives are one where we feel free to actually speak our truth and be completely 100% honest with one another, and we don't think that that other person is trying to attack us. We actually know in the depths of our soul that that person has our best interests at heart. That's the kind of quality of relationship I want in my life, and I hope that you guys do as well. I hope that you value honesty and having that ability to assume the best of another and know that they have our best interests at heart. That's quality in relationship. And in order to get there though, not everybody is going to be able to hear the criticism, right? So you shining light on a blind spot, you can't just go along in this world and expect to create extraordinary quality of relationship and really serve and help others if you're just going out there and you're just blurting what's wrong. So there is Dr. John Gottman, who did a lot of research. He's a relationship expert and has done a lot of research in terms of finding what's that ratio. How can we get another person to actually hear and receive what we're saying so that we can have honesty and depth in our relationships. And what he discovered is that there is an ideal praise to criticism ratio, which is actually 5 pieces of positive praise to every 1 criticism or potential negative comment. So why this is really important is because in order to have that depth and honesty, we need to be able to communicate and be able to receive that criticism. And when we just throw out the negative and throw out the criticism, it's more often than not, we're going to just put people into a state of defensiveness. And so if we want to really build connection, if we really want to serve another with this blind spot that they may, they're not noticing and could really help and support them if they were aware of it, then we need to know the 5-to-1 ratio. We need to be able to give 5 positive pieces of praise and then deliver the blind spot. And it is so much more well received. And so I'm just shooting this out there for a Christmas challenge for you guys to utilize the power of radical positive honesty. And if you have any criticisms whatsoever that you are going to share with a person, make sure that you are utilizing that ideal praise to criticism ratio of 5 positives to every 1 negative. So really, really hoping that this is beneficial for you guys. And I hope that, all you Aussies out there are having an extraordinary Christmas day already. And definitely everybody else in the world, you're gearing up for an extraordinary Christmas day. And I hope that you take on this challenge and really go the whole halt with radical positive honesty. Dish out your positivity, be honest, don't hold those compliments back, give them out. It's such a gift that you have to give to others and it doesn't cost you anything. So get out there and do that. And definitely if you have any negatives, deliver it with 5 positives before that 1 negative so you can actually be of service and actually make it even worthwhile you speaking up your truth. And let me check in with you guys. And definitely, if you guys haven't already, make sure that you come on over and join us in the Limitless Potential Inner Circle Facebook community. We would love to have you a part of that extraordinary and growing area where we connect with like minds. And we're definitely reaching new heights of our potential. And we want to support, encourage, and challenge you to do the same. So click on the link above and request to join, and I will approve you into that amazing group. And I want to check in with you guys. So I've got Moises and Lucy and Sam and Stephen and Liam and Renee and Rinske. Merry Christmas to you, and Jeremy and Eva from Nottingham. I love it. And Lucy, Merry Christmas to you. So wish I was experiencing a white Christmas with you beautiful human beings over there. Much love to you. Hope you're having a special day. I know you're celebrating with family today. So Merry Christmas to all you guys. And Josie's here and Luke. Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas, Sam, and Alexandria's here, and Philippe. Well, we're heading to dinner here. Merry Christmas, Vanessa. Awesome, Philippe. And thank you so much. And Andrew's here, and Merry Christmas, Alexandria, from your beautiful husband and you. Beautiful. I love always your hashtag happiness. Beautiful. And Peter and Star Style, and I've got another Peter, and Philippe, love you and send you big hugs and kisses. Much love to you, Philippe. Thank you so much. And Jeremy and Jolene and Alexandra, I'll take your challenge. Love it. Let's be a force for good in this world. Absolutely. And you already are, Alexandria. So thank you. And I love you're an action taker. And Felipe, tell me where you hang the phone to transmit. I want to broadcast videos as well. Can you show if you use a special gadget? Yes, as soon as I run through this, I'll take my camera off what I use and I'll show you guys what I sort of set up. Pretty simple, but pretty easy. And I have a couple of different strategies. So I'll definitely share that with you, Philippe. And Jamal, hello to you. And Moises, being honest, I like you, beautiful lady. Thank you, Moises. And wishing you a Merry Christmas. And Chris and Dave and Madeline. And Merry Christmas to you, Madeline. Thank you for those kind words. And Jeremy, so appreciate your honesty, and likewise, absolutely. And Sam, I love this. Without deep connection is waste of time and energy. Absolutely. Yes, exactly. And definitely. And that's a new discovery of mine, having kind of realizing that you have kind of surface level relationships. And when you realize that, and when you have an experience of having depth in a connection, like, you just won't settle for anything less. So I love that you're on the same page there, Sam. And Heinz is here. Awesome. And Philippe, honestly shows up always. So be sure everybody will notice, but nevertheless, be honest with yourself. We're watching you always. Think about being free from you if you are congruent with your acts, aligned with your thoughts and your words. Absolutely, Philippe. Yes, definitely honesty with self is absolute key. If you can't be honest with yourself, you're not going to be honest with anybody else. And sometimes we keep ourselves, because we're in such fear of not knowing who we are, not knowing what we want, or actually knowing who we are and knowing what we want and not aligning with it, we keep ourselves stuck in our own set of lies and dishonesty. And so, yes, absolutely, go on that journey of being absolutely honest with yourself. Thanks so much for sharing there, Philippe. And Jabs is here, and Adrian and Daniel. Loving that you're finding this is great. And I'm loving that you really needed to hear this right now. So that's awesome. And Madeline, thank you. You always give me a smile on my face. Love your energy and giving heart. Oh, Madeline, you're putting a massive smile on my face. So thank you so much. And always energy, love, positive. Absolutely, Jamal. And Jose, thank you. This was desperately needed. I love that that's hit you at the right time there, Jose. And Sam, my new mantra, 5 to 1. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. If we really want to serve others, then we need to be able to do that instead of just hitting them with finding what's wrong straight away without finding what's right. And then you can, deliver it in a way that it is absolutely received because this person knows that you have their best interests at heart because you've just delivered such positive energy to them to begin with. So love that that's your new mantra, Sam. That's awesome. And Phil's here and Chris and Omar. So how do you balance honesty and positivity? I find this easier when both are sincere. Absolutely. So that's why I wanted to bring to you radical positive honesty, but also any sort of radical honesty. You need to ask yourself, is this me sharing this, is this going to be supportive? Is it going to actually add to the situation? Is it an emotionally intelligent way of communicating? And emotional intelligence is always, is it going to make the situation better rather than worse based on my input to it? And then if you know that this thing that you got to share, it's honest, it might feel pretty negative to the person that you're going to deliver it to. That's why you want to utilize the ideal praise to criticism ratio. So you deliver 5 pieces of honest positivity or praise to the person and then deliver the one negative, but honesty is everything and it's not always going to be positive. And in actual fact, you can even deliver it in such a way that you create context for the person that you want to deliver it to in terms of, hey, there is something that I really want to be honest with you about because I so value the depth of connection in our relationship, and it would feel dishonest for me to not share this with you. But before I do, would you mind if I just shared with you just some amazing things that I discover about you or that I view about you, and deliver your 5 points, and set the context. Like you have the idea, the intention is to create a better quality of relationship by the end of the conversation. So you've just got to create positive context and deliver and always be honest. So I hope that was valuable to you, Amar. I think that we can deliver a negative piece of honesty by framing it contextually with intention and give those 5 pieces of positives that are truthful. They're always there, just find them and deliver that in the forefront so that you can actually be heard by the intended listener. So hope that was valuable to you, Omar. And thanks, Moises. And Gail, Merry Christmas to you from Vienna, Austria, a place I haven't yet been, but I definitely want to get to. And Ian's here, and Gary, and Mike, and James, and awesome. So guys, I'm absolutely hoping that today's message is resonating with you. I hope it's you are going to take on this Christmas challenge of absolute radical positive honesty. Throw out all of that positive, everything that comes to your mind that's positive about another person, about the situation, about yourself, share it. Go out there. Stop holding yourself back. It's a light and a gift that you have to give. It doesn't cost you anything, so go and do it. And also, definitely utilizing the ideal praise to criticism ratio, 5 positives to every 1 negative, no matter what you're going to deliver. Just do it. It will also retrain your brain to find what's right rather than always what's wrong and just throwing that out there. And that doesn't allow you to be of service and really help with your criticism. So that is it from me today, guys. I'm absolutely sending you so much extra love, light, blessings, gratitude, energy, enthusiasm, everything extraordinary on this beautiful Christmas day or Christmas Eve, wherever you are in the world. Much love to you there, Sam. Thank you so much. And I hope you have an extraordinary holiday with your beautiful family, and definitely take on this Christmas challenge, and I'd love to hear from you about how you find that, and definitely bring it out while you're with your whole family. And that is it from me today, guys. I'm sending you all my love, and I will see you tomorrow.